I'm on mute. I'm on mute. I just called it. I just called it. I just called it. I am on mute. I'm being a mutant. Let's go back through this again. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I was not reading the chat at that time. I was looking down. I happened to look over and saw mute. I was like, wait a minute, I'm on mute. It's been a while since I've done this, so y'all bear with me. But I'm glad that everyone's in the building. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is I, Matt, the Southern Gooner. Had some free time today. My schedule cleared out quicker than what I expected it to be today. And I was like, you know what? I've got time to actually do a show. So I said, what the hell? Let's get down to it, man. So we are here. We are in the building. We are on the back end. We are on the precipice of one Benjamin Sesko. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. But we've got a little bit of house cleaning we've got to do today. I do have receipts. And we're going to have an in-depth discussion on how, as you all saw the thumbnail, the Arteta Horde have turned their vengeance and fury upon one Thierry Henry. Absolutely outrageous. What I've seen in the last 24 hours of who is what one consider the all-time greatest gunner, depending on who you talk to. Thierry Henry had a couple of choice words about the outcomings of Arsenal Football Club over the last couple of years. Nothing more than what you've heard here on this channel year after year after year after year, or wherever you've been in the Ratosphere, whether it's over on Lee, Jersey's, North Sides, Oregon in the chat, you know, all over across the internet. We've been talking about these same problems over the last several years. And now the man with the plan comes out. He says there's an issue with the success at this football club. And everybody decides they don't want to hear it. So we've got some receipts. We've got some in-depth analysis. And let's get down to business. All right. So I am going to, y'all bear with me. I've got a ton of stuff open up on my computer here that I want to present. Do you all, I'm going to ask you all, do you all want me to provide the audio for the interview, or do you want me to read the interview? I can provide, I got either one of them. Which one do y'all want? I'm going to let y'all make a decision. One, if you want audio. Two, if you want me to read it out. Audio. Type in your ones for audio. Two, for me to read it out. I can bring it up on the screen and read it out. Which one you want? Which one? We want audio. We want audio. All right. We got audio. We got 5 for audio so far. What we got? We got 2. We got 1, 2 in. Warren, what's up, brother? I see you in there, my friend. 1, 1. All right. Everybody wants 1. All right. Let me get the audio lined up for y'all. Bear with me right quick. Let me make sure it's not too loud. All right. Here we go. Y'all let me know if you can hear this. I'm going to play the first little bit of it. Let me know if you hear it. Type 1. Put a 3 if you can hear it. 3 if you can hear it. All right. Here we go.
What do you think of the current Arsenal situation of sort of 6 years now, 5, 6 years without it?
If you can hear that, please let me know. There's 3. We got 3. Sounds good. Great. I fixed the audio problem from yesterday. I was concerned about that. All right, cool. We're going to restart and we're going to fire this up, y'all. Here we go.
What do you think of the current Arsenal situation of sort of 6 years now, 5, 6 years without a trophy, but they're building and they're sort of getting better each time?
That's a tall building now. The building is tall. It's a lot of. The building is really tall. It's, you know, that's big. So I always talk to Wright about it. Look, I'm not going to pretend I'm an Arsenal fan more than any more a guy that was born and raised an Arsenal fan. But I understand. At the very beginning, you arrive. By the way, we won the Cup 2020. Yeah. 3 years. And Roy can tell you, you also coach, you're in a situation at the beginning where it's not your team. You need at the very least 3 to 4 transfer windows to be able to change everything that you want to change. Get rid of the guys that are on a good contract, that don't want to leave, that maybe don't like the way you play, or you don't like the way they play. So it takes time. We finished 8th. We were not great. you have to give a manager time to be able to implement what he wants to do. So 3 years. Now, the last 3 years, we've been in a situation also where we should at least bring a cup, whatever it is, or a final. Man United played 5 finals in their last 5 years. The United that everyone loves played 5 finals.
Now, where have y'all, for everybody that watches this channel, where have you heard that at? How many times have I said people like to laugh at United? They like to joke about United. They like to poke the bear. And Manchester United, regardless of how bad they are, consistently are in and around playing for some form of silverware. Now, whether they lose or win, that's neither here or there. But they're always somewhere near a trophy, regardless of how bad the situation is. Now, TT just said that. He also brought up something else in there as well. He brought up 3 years, not his team. See, when people go talk about Arteta, they always want to go back to talk about, oh, well, he brought the team from the depths of hell. He brought the teams from here. He brought the team from there. He had so much to do. He had so much to work with. And you're going to see all this today. Like I said, I've got some receipts. You're going to see this. But you just heard what Brother TT just said. He just said what we've been saying, that, yeah, he came in without his team. Now, that proves that whose team was it when he came, when he got here? It was Emirates' team. Then he goes on to say, you got to give the manager time for 3 years to get his players in, keep the ones you want to keep, let go of the ones you want to go, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Cass. And then you can start moving from there. So 5 years have passed since that in 2020, and now it's time to start asking questions. Where are the trophies?
In the last 3 years of building that building, you didn't reach a final. So I do understand when people ask the question, surely you should have compete for a trophy, being in the final. This year we didn't compete with Liverpool. I don't know what people think, but we didn't compete, not one.
What do you think of the current Arsenal situation?
Yep, that's what, as far as it ends. But then I'll go back and I've got this other part here up on the screen here. I'll show you, because that was all of the audio. I didn't want to get hit for copyright. I'm going to, let me close out my screen here. Let me drop myself off here. Hold on. There we go. It says right here, I'm not saying this season was a disappointment, but it's normal that people are raising questions about what the team is doing. See, after a while, after a period of time, especially when you're in a high pressure situation, you have to be open to criticism. And when you look at this manager and you look at the horde that follow him, you know, I can easily see exactly where, you know, they started to lose it on this interview. When I sat back and I went back and I listened to it and I look at the things that were said, you know, when you see stuff like this here on your screen, the last 3 years we've been in a situation where we should at least bring a cup to the club or be in a final. Twice this year, we were in a situation where we should have been in a final. Right or wrong? We were there. Semi-final, Carabao Cup, semi-final, Champions League. And we were not able to get over the hump. Last year, Liverpool did us in. Year before that, City did us in the cup, in the cups. This year, people laugh. They laugh at Manchester United. Oh, man, that was the worst Manchester United team known to man. But we lost to that Manchester United team with 10 men. 10 men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 men. 10 men. Manchester United. FA Cup. At home. That goes under the radar as well. Do you realize how many individuals that we played at home and we lost this year? What do people say? People tend to, oh, well, you know, this team, you know, at home is a fortress and nobody's gonna get past us and all of this stuff. Well, we took a lot of behind whoopings at home this year, ladies and gentlemen. That's not becoming of a champion. 14 draws. 14. And people actually thought we were challenging for a title? Nah. And when you see stuff like this, Manchester United played 5 finals in their last 5 years. The United people laughs at. Here's the most damning part that sets off every top gooner right here. Right here. Let me zoom out for y'all. In the last 3 years of building, I forgot to bring my hammer and nail. I was going to bring my hammer and nail as my prop today. In the last 3 years of building, Arsenal didn't reach a final. This is after the money that has been spent. This is after Havertz has played 55 games. This is after Odegaard has come back from the injury. This is after the fact that Saka has returned back into the team. And nothing to show for it. Once again. We keep repeating this. We keep repeating these same problems over and over and over and over and over. This is another issue right here. Because our fan base is going on as if this year was successful. As if we did something this year. As if we put down a marker this year. This year we didn't compete with Liverpool. I don't know what people think, but we didn't compete. Not once. Not once. We never led. Not even close. So many people disparaged that Liverpool team at the beginning of the year. I was one of the few. I was one of the few that said, hey, man, Slot's got them looking pretty good. I set up at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, whatever it was. And me and Lee sat right there and watched that game together. I saw the goal go in. I told Lee, we're not doing anything this year because I'm seeing the exact same problems that I saw last year. Same exact problems. If I see the problems, surely the master, Thierry Henry, sees the problem. If we see the injury issues and crisis, surely an analyst, he's now an analyst, Thierry Henry sees the same exact issues that I see. You know what I found very interesting about this whole interview, for those who have not seen the whole entire interview? I'm pretty sure mostly everybody here has probably seen it. You know what really stuck out to me? I like to keep the chat interactive. I'm going to ask you all, what do you think stuck out to Southern Gooner watching that interview? What's the one thing that you think? See, some of this tell me how good y'all know me. What do you think stood out to me in that interview watching it? Because that was one thing that stood out in that interview. A lot of people ain't bringing it up. I hadn't seen too many people bring it up. I've seen one person bring it up, but I hadn't seen a lot of people. Oh, somebody in the chat just nailed it. Somebody in the chat nailed it. Several people in the chat nailed it. You know, I like my little new doohickey down here at the bottom of the screen where I can see people's stuff pull up, but we're gonna have to bring it up. We're gonna have to bring it up. Devontae nailed it. Devontae nailed it. Y'all bear with me. My camera is adding up there a little bit. Devontae nailed it. Ian Wright. When TT asked him, he said it was in 2020 when they won the cup, right? Then he asked him twice. See, people didn't catch that. He asked it twice because he wanted verification. He said 2020, right? That's correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ian, my boy Ian, who is one of my favorite Arsenal players, was sitting there, and whatever he was chewing on, he was chewing the shit out of it. He was chewing hard as hell. Just like your uncle at a family reunion in July. Chewing on a piece of spare ribs. That's what he was sitting there. He was chewing. He was chewing because he knew what he was saying was the truth. He knew what TT was saying was the truth, just like everybody else. See, regardless of what people want you to think they believe, they know what's the truth. And he knows that he played under a manager like George Graham that wouldn't tolerate what we've seen the last several years. I'll say it again. I will say it again. He knows deep down in his heart of hearts that a manager that he played under, George Graham, would not tolerate what this team has put out the last 3 years. And I'm being kind, just saying 3. I'm sticking with TT on this. I'm being kind. So then this morning I get up and I look at my phone. I'm bombarded. I mean, I've got messages galore, text messages, even starting late last night. I was going to bed, because y'all 5 hours ahead of me. So I'm getting messages late at night. Did you see the interview? Have you seen this? And when I saw the interview, I said, well, this brother's saying everything we've been saying. The truth shall set you free. And then this morning I get up this morning. Let's pull him up here. I'm not going to out this brother. And it's not Egal, for those who think that's who it is. Before I put it up, it's not Egal. This is some new dude. If I can get this thing to act right. There we go. All right, there we go. And I went old school. You remember when we used to be in elementary school and college and high school, and the teacher pulls out his red marker? I pulled out my red marker. Let me do this, y'all, so we can see this a little bit better. So we can all see this on one accord. Y'all bear with me here. Let me turn this off. There we go. There we go. We're going to drop it down right there. This brother says, and we're going to go through this. He says, I watched the video of this discussion. All of them, including Henry, are a bunch of wannabe managers who've tried and failed at the top level. Henry, Kim, especially Neville, were exceptional players, but their managerial careers will never come close to matching their playing days. It's funny he says that because I'm trying to figure out where was Arteta's experience before he arrived at Arsenal. Did anybody happen to see that? Did we miss that? Did we miss that? This brother here hadn't said anything about Arteta's prior experience upon joining the Arsenal. Right? Am I missing something here? Am I missing something here? Ladies and gentlemen. Because this brother started out this diatribe talking about how they failed as managers. But I'm trying to figure out where the experience is for one Mikel Arteta. And I've been looking for that for years. I've been looking for years. Oh, okay. There is none. Okay, gotcha. All right. They prove that footballing intelligence on the pitch doesn't automatically translate into managerial success. Well, if we're going to go tit for tat, where was Arteta's intelligence as a player when he played for us? Where was that intelligence? Because I don't remember him pulling up trees. I remember him coming in on the back of an 8-2 slacking to Manchester United. He got the experience, as why not just stated, he got the experience over at Everton, not at Arsenal. Exactly, Mike. He was a journeyman player. This was seen as his big move. This was seen as his one big move in his career. So he took it. When Wenger picked up the phone, Monsieur Arteta, would you like to join the Arsenal? We can get you to play. We need emergency midfielders. We got some players leaving, going to different places. We need to appease the fan. Yes, Arteta. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Arteta. Arteta. Yes, sir, Arsene Wenger. Yeah, I'd love to go. Yeah, yes, me. Yes. I feel the passion in my tummy. I feel the passion for the Arsenal. He shows up, and what happens? We get some of the worst ass whoopings we've ever gotten at this football club with him on the pitch. I'll say it again. Oh, by the way, let me throw this in there too. A guard of honor while he was here too, by the way, for Manchester United while he was here. A guard of honor. No coincidence we get another guard of honor this year. This brother in this diatribe goes on to say, yet week in, week out, they sit here and criticize Arteta for not winning a trophy without bothering to ever consider the context. This right here was coming up is an all-time. You can put this down as an all-time great top gunner line right here. All-time great. They ignored the state of the club when he took over. Disrespected, disjointed, and in total decline. Brother, we was just coming off the back of a Europa League final. That's disjointed. That's in decline. That's disrespected. The team was set up for success in the FA Cup. The team was set up to challenge and compete. And this brother's talking about like we were in the depths of hell. Like he had to have a Wednesday night revival. Like Arteta built a tabernacle. When I see this stuff and I hear it, people go on about this as if we were in the wilderness. We had world-class players in this team. Aubameyang was in the team. He was golden boot in the team. It's amazing how people like to pull out revisionism when it comes to this manager. It's absolutely wild. Watch this. They overlooked the injury crisis. They overlooked the injury crisis. He misspelled it, the crises, but injury crisis. Nobody brings up the injuries. The year we bottled the league at 8 points. Nobody brings up the injuries when we finished 2 points behind. Oh, but this year, the year we finished 10 points behind, is injuries. It's down to injuries. It's down to injuries. It's down to Mo Salah. Liverpool wouldn't be nothing without Mo Salah. When nobody brings up the fact that they put out Saved by the Bell, Doogie Howser, Double Dare, you can't do that on television, Cartoon Express, Cartoon Network, Fred Flintstone, the Jetsons, they put out all the kids, Ninja Turtles, Voltron, for all my old heads in the chat. And for all my people across the sea in Asia, Astro Boy. And I'll give you 10 points for Vampire Hunter D if you know what I'm talking about. They go get the kids, and they beat us in the tournament last year. Take the piss, total piss out of us. You didn't hear anything about injuries then? You didn't hear anything about injuries? This fan base has to find an excuse to protect their vaulted leader. Their leader, they have to find an excuse. No introspective self-awareness about where we are and where we should be. None at all. This is the part that's going to really knock your socks off. He's navigated the rebuild. He's led the rebuild. Tore down one team, bought a bunch of players that are pretty much no longer here. Vieira's coming back, but I mean, how long is he going to be here? You look at Noon Tavares, Lakanga. You know, the list goes on and on. What's his name that just left? Marquinhos, Cruzeiro today. That's the rebuild. And the fact that Arsenal, under his guidance, watch this now attract elite talent. Y'all hold tight right quick. Y'all just hold tight right quick. Y'all just hold tight right quick. Elite talent. Elite talent. That's what he said. This brother said, we are attracting elite talent. Elite talent. Nah. Nope. 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 Benjamin Sesko is not elite talent. Is he a bad talent? Remains to be seen. Elite? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Benjamin Sesko is not elite. He's a decent footballer. And I'll throw you a bone. I'll throw everybody in the chat a bone. It would have made more sense to get him 2 years ago than it would to get Kai Havertz. Let me say that one more time so that people can hear what I just said. It would have been better to get him 2 years ago than to get Kai Havertz. Because you could have gave him 55 games to get himself in order. You buying this right now when you know we're in the situation that we in, Arteta ain't good enough. And you know it. That deal was done before Bertha showed up. We'll get to Bertha a little later on because I know a lot of folks are upset about this situation. I'm here. Somebody said, I just saw somebody in the chat say this is therapeutic. Don't worry, it's gonna be therapy today. We're gonna provide therapy. Just sit back on the couch and enjoy yourself. Everybody listening, go get your favorite drink and just sit back. We're gonna have fun tonight. We're gonna have fun and enjoy it. This right here should have been done years ago when we were in the Europa League, when we were on the ups. You don't go get this when you know your career's on the line. But y'all put a marker by that. We'll come back to this. We're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to this because I don't want to get stuck on that because we'll be on that for the next hour if I get on that right now. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that. Let's bring this brother back up right quick. Let's bring this brother back up. We're gonna call him Brother Top Gooner. Let's bring Brother Top Gooner back up here. Here we go. There he is, right there. There he is. He says, now attract elite talent. Watch this now. Graduate top academy players. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see this? Graduate top academy players. Oh, what you gonna say, Skelly? I know it's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go eat this Skelly. Let's talk about everybody else then. Let's talk about everybody else. What you gonna say, Soccer? Soccer was already here, but when the man got here. See, what you have to be careful when you're dealing with these folk like this, man, they love to throw out stuff that sounds good to the ear. And if you ain't cultured, you'll fall for it just like that. That's why they spread. That's why they spread. It's just like 28 days later. As soon as you get the bite, here you go. You turn it. Everybody turn. Because it sounds so good to the ear. Sounds like something's going on. But then you see academy players leaving, going to other clubs. Manchester United. Mika Bareth, anybody? Do you realize how much money we could have saved if we would have held on to Mika Bareth right now? Do you realize how much money we could have saved and promoted if we would have brought Mika Bareth in? Do you think that Mika Bareth, chat, anybody that follows Mika Bareth, do you think had he been in the team when we were going through that goal scoring crisis, do you think nobody got 10 goals this season in this football team? Because see, what the bigger picture is that people, they want to go, oh, well, Sesko's going to come in and he's going to provide, all of this. He may very well come in. Listen, I'm on the record. He may very well come in and take this league by storm. But history, by what we've seen with history is probably not going to happen immediately. But there's a bigger thing to this that I want y'all to see. Because they talk about this team. They talk about this manager. But he's had these same players for all these years, and nobody in the team this year could get 10 goals. Because see, that went right over some folks' head. He's had this same team for this long, worked with these players, taking them to Dubai, warm weather training, steaks, dogs, pool parties, and nobody can get 10 goals. Nobody can get 10 goals. Static, thank you. Balogun as well. Could have kept them too. Saved some money. This brother Arteta is living on a hope and a prayer. On a hope and a prayer. And you got people, this is his tabernacle right there. Right here, these kind of folk right here. Then he goes on to say playing outstanding football. Zoom in on that. We're going to zoom in on that right there. That's what he said. Playing outstanding throw-ins in a Champions League semifinal against PSG. Knowing you need to go. Knowing you need to go. And this brother talking about playing outstanding football. On what planet were we playing outstanding football? Because I was not there. I did not see that this year. I hadn't seen outstanding football in 2 years. Chat. I have not seen outstanding football in 2 years at this football club. But this brother says we've been playing outstanding football. 9 goals. Nobody got 10 goals this season in this football team. And what they'll want you to believe, is that everybody contributed. Everybody contributed. My camera's acting up here. Y'all just bear with me. My cable, my things are getting loose. I'm going to have to replace it. So y'all just bear with me on the flickering. But this brother's saying we're playing outstanding football. The only thing that saved us this year was it just so happened Mikel Merino could find the back of the net. If he had not scored in the games that he scored in, we've been in real major trouble. And 2 free kicks from Declan Rice, who's been ran into the ground this season, by the way. That's a whole nother discussion. And then, of course, Top Gunners always have to end with this because they want you to know it's not about the present, but it's about the future. It's never about the present with Top Gunners. It's always about the future. We're not worried about today. We want you to be prepared for tomorrow. We want you to be prepared for tomorrow. Well, what about today? Carpe diem. Seize the moment. No. Just worry about down the line. We're not worried about today. We're not worried about winning the Carabao Cup this year. We're not worried about winning honors today. We're not worried about FA Cup. The cups they say that's beneath us, but everybody else wins them and they're above us. We laugh. Let's have a laugh at Chelsea winning an irrelevant cup. Huh? They just completed Europe. Yeah, man, but they had to buy it. Okay, cool. We only a few hundred million away from what they did. What did we won? One FA Cup 5 years. Like I said, this is all they're concerned about right there. Not today, but the future. Then he goes on to say, these clowns should sit this one out. Clowns should sit this one out, including Henry, who seems to carry a hint of jealousy. Y'all bear with me right quick. Something just popped in my head. Y'all bear with me right quick. I'm going to show y'all something. Let me get it lined up. Let me get it lined up for everybody in the chat. He said a hint of jealousy. Y'all just bear with me. Just bear with me. Just bear with me here. Let me get this where I need it to be. Sometimes you have to show people. And I always tell people this, man. You have to show people sometimes better than yeah, there we go. That's what I need right there. You have to show them better than you can tell them. This brother said, watch this now. This brother said a hint of jealousy. Tell me what that is right there. You tell me what that is right there. A hint of jealousy. Is that a hint of jealousy right there? Is this right here a hint of jealousy right there? Because this brother said Arteta's jealous. Excuse me. That's how it should be. My bad. That's what you call a Freudian slip. No. Arteta should be jealous. No. He says Henry's jealous of Arteta. But does that look like a man that's jealous? Right there. Knee sliding. Let me tell y'all something. When you have players that have been in the fire, eat, sleep, drink, shit, Arsenal. Undefeated Premier League campaign. Slaughtered Inter Milan. Dug us out the fire against Liverpool. Put us on our back playing Tottenham. Brought us into the Emirates. Left the club, came back, scored as soon as he got back. Won a Champions League trophy with Barcelona. Slaughtered Brazil, 1998. Was in the team. Brother, you have to listen to what he's saying. You have to listen to what he's saying. One of the main problems we have at this football club, let me tell you one of the main problems we have at this football club is the lack of respect when it comes to the history of this football club and what it has stood for over 100 plus years. There is a lack of respect when it comes to the history of this football club. And if you was to go ask any one of these people who's piling on TT about why they support the club, I guarantee you he is right there at the top of it. And if he's been at the top of it, what makes you think he doesn't know what it takes to get to the top of it? Hello? If he's been there, What make you think he don't know what it takes to get there? He is the standard, ladies and gentlemen. This is the standard right here. This is why they don't want to hear what he's got to say. Because the standard was talking to him. The standard was talking to him. And when the standards say the standards are not being met, you know what? We got to have some introspective self-awareness. No. This fan base don't want that. Most of this fan base don't want that. See, this is why it's critical for people like Ian Wright to come out and start saying stuff. But we know they're not going to do it. And this is why they keep picking the same people to come out and say, they know when this comes out, this was the worst. This was probably their worst nightmare this week. For this to happen. For this to come out. For him to say, nah, that's a lot of building. He said that's a tall building. I just came out and said, man, we talking skyscrapers. We talking downtown New York. Sears Tower. Talking about building. It's like I told Deluded. What are we building here? The staircase to heaven? It's about success. It was embarrassing last week to sit there with Lee and Shane and watch Spurs win a trophy. It was an absolute disgrace. After all of the money that's been poured, all the resources that's been poured into this team. It's absolutely wild. And you watching Manchester United, bad as they were, still find a way to get to a final. Chelsea, average age of the team, 23.5. Kids, essentially. You look at all over the world. You got clubs that's being founded in 2024, winning their league within a year. Victor Kompany goes over to Bayern Munich. Harry Kane, new league. You hear that one a lot too. Oh, well, it takes the player time to bet. New league. Hits the ground running. Within 2 years, he's a league champion. Son, washed up, league champion. Not league champion, European champion. Crystal Palace. Shoestring budget. FA Cup champion. Against the mighty Manchester City. That's all we heard over last. Oh, Manchester City. But it was the all-time great. But it was the best team in the Premier League history. How is that the best team in the Premier League history when we went undefeated? See, this is why I said our fan base have an absolute disdain and disrespect when it comes to history. If we were to look at the history of the football club, it would give you the roadmap to success. If our fan base would sit down and look at the history of this football club, it would give them the roadmap to success. Shout out to Lion Text for the raid, brother. Much love, man. Much love. Everybody come in. Y'all sit down and get this sermon. Look at the women's team last weekend. Huh? See, I keep trying to tell people. See, everybody's getting bent out over this, getting upset over Sesko. This is why I've been telling everybody, don't get upset. Sit back and prepare to watch the show. There's no need of getting upset because we knew he was coming. We all knew this. Kenny Ken has sat here all year long, almost on every a Real Talk podcast on Monday, and has told everybody Benjamin Sesko is coming to the football club. He said it week in, week out. We've prepared you all for this. What we have liked to see Jokeris? Absolutely. Would I have been over the moon if we got Jokeris? Absolutely. But you know this football club. You know how we work. This is historical. You don't believe me? Hold on just a second. Don't believe me? Hold on just a second. This is historical. Y'all watch this. Receipts. What's this right here? What's this right here? What is this right here? Anytime we're linked with the best of the best, what happened? We miss out. Right there. What does that say right there? What does that say right there? Put it in the chat. What does it say right there? What do we normally do? Warren's in the chat. What's up, Warren? Tell him. You've been around. You've been watching us for years. When it's time to get down to business, what do we do, Warren? We miss out. We miss out. Miss out. Look at the players. Look at the players. Ronaldo, Mbappe, Messi, Ibrahimovic. If you know, you know. Well, there were no players available. This is historical. We always get the lesson in. So it shouldn't come to any surprise that we're getting Sesko this year. It should come to no surprise. Benzema, another one. Higuain. Radamel Falcao. Eden Hazard. How many times have we seen disappointment at this football club? How many times? It's absolutely Yaya Toure. We've been through this before. And so when you see Benjamin Sesko pull up, don't be surprised. You just sit back and you say, oh, it's another feather in the cap of failure for this manager. That deal was done before Berta even showed up. That's the last shit Edu left in the toilet before he left the building that night. Right there. That deal right there. And also, if you want to go further than that, go all the way back to Kai Havertz. Go all the way back to Kai Havertz. And you will see that that's part of the root of this problem. I told people, me, Warren, Tony Clark, Gunn, all Bats, Line Tech, we all sat on the show. Kyle Walsh, Del Boy, we all sat on the panel and we told everybody, we said, Yorkshire Gunners in here. We all sat in here on the panel 3 years ago, and we said Kai Havertz is going to be the downfall of this football club. One of the major reasons for this football club going down the toilet. 2 years on, what's happened? Money's tied up into him. This is why I said, don't be surprised. When you wake up sometime next week, might even be on Sunday, possibly Monday, and you look up, and if you see Sesko pull up, don't be surprised. Don't get on the internet. Don't be banging your desk, getting upset, going live, scrambling, screaming at the computer, cussing, fussing. No need to do that. Just accept. See, the acceptance phase is great. That's the best part of it. When you accept that nothing's going the way that you thought it would go, you accept it. Don't worry, we're gonna get the Berta. Because I'm gonna bring y'all an American perspective. All my American G's in the chat can back me up on this in just a second. You just hold tight. We'll get the Berta in a little bit. Y'all just hold tight. All my American G's are gonna know exactly where I'm coming from on this in a little bit. But we'll get to that. We'll get the Berta in a little bit because I know people want to get the Berta. People want to know my thoughts on Berta. But you got clowns like this brother. Let me pull it back up here. Let's get this clown back up here. Talking about that Arteta got the job he once wanted. See, let me tell you how short people's memories are. Tell y'all how short people's memories are. Chat, I like to keep it interactive. Do y'all remember there was a gentleman? There was a former player that stepped in as caretaker manager. Do people remember that? Does anybody in the chat remember who the caretaker manager was before Arteta pulled up? Does anybody remember that gentleman's name? Oh, I see some people in the chat remember exactly who it was. How many of these top gooners did you hear say give him the job? He had a little experience before that. How many folks say, let's give him time to work his magic, to give him some money? How many times did you hear them say, let's give him some time? Give him time to cook. He needs his players. The team is in the pits of hell. He took what was given to him and did the best that he could. What did he say on the way out the door? Something ain't right around here. Something is not right around here. Has anybody heard from Freddie Youngberg since? Has anybody heard from the brother Freddie Youngberg since? Has anybody heard from Freddie Youngberg since? Arteta pulls up in the town. Oh, it's the best thing. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, he knows what we need. 10 at the back. I will play the clip, but I don't have it loaded up. I know somebody want me to hit the drop, but I don't have it loaded up. So I forgot to load it up on my way to doing it. But y'all know. Y'all know how it go. And what's crazy is here, this is a conversation far above their pay grade as pundits. Gets even better, y'all. Gets even better. That's why I said I brought the receipts. I brought the receipts today. I brought the receipts. Here we go. Y'all peep this out right here. Zimbabwe mail. See, this is how you have to watch these jokers, man. These jokers are real slick. Look at the title. Thierry Henry hypocritical criticism of Mikel Arteta reeks of jealousy and short memory. I went immediately to see who wrote this. Don't want to be named. You see how they throw their rocks? You see how they throw rocks and hide their hands? Do y'all see how these top gooners throw rocks and hide their hands? I'm going to say it again. Do you all see how top gooners, they throw rocks, they throw them just like that. As soon as they throw it, they hit you in the back of the head, their hands behind you. He don't want to be named. Exactly, Binks. Bring you up there. Cowards. See, we coming with receipts today. I told y'all, we coming with receipts today. Oh, yeah, I've been over there on that Reddit. No, sir, Joseph. No way, Jose, bro. No. That's like stepping in the ant bed. Absolutely not. I've been that one. I went in there for about 2 seconds. I got my ass out of there. I ran out quicker than a scalded dog. No way. I know exactly what you're talking about, brother. I've been over in there before. It's outrageous. Jealousy and short memory. Let's look at this brother. Let's look at this brother right quick. Let's blow him up. Right quick. Here we go. Got him blown up so we can read it. Thierry Henry's recent comments on stick to football about Mikel Arteta's tenure at Arsenal reek of bitterness and hypocrisy for a man whose own managerial career has been nothing short of disastrous. Then what the hell has Arteta's been? Ball of 8-point lead. Put out a semifinal after semifinal. 3 second place finishes. 5th, 8th. One title in one trophy in 5 years. Spent almost $1 billion. Will eclipse $1 billion this summer. I'm gonna start calling him the $1 billion man. Not Ted DiBiase. He's the $1 billion man. And this brother is talking about him failing at Monaco in Montreal in the MLS. Brother, you come to me talking about failing at Monaco and in Montreal in your first 2 stints. Don't bother me one bit. Why? Because you just getting experience. See, this is the root. See, this is when you go and you pull back the layers of this thing. And you start talking about what is Mikel Arteta's one biggest weakness. It's experience. They never bring that up. They never bring it up. They never bring up the fact that Mikel Arteta showed up with no experience. I can tell you, at least the brother went and tried his hand at Monaco and tried his hand at Montreal. And I'm going to hit something else in just a little bit because he's going to touch on something in just a little bit. And I'm going to show y'all something. When you learn on the job, when you learn from your experiences, when you learn before you take something big. We're going to come to that because it's in here. Because when I read this, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how they just decided they just wanted to just go all in on TT like that. He says, failed stints at Monaco and Montreal, 0 trophies, and a reputation for tactical naivety. Henry's critique of Arteta is laughably ironic. What was that we just saw 3 weeks ago against PSG? What was that we just saw? Zoom in on it. I love doing this with y'all. That's what we saw. We've seen this for the last 5 years. Let me a sip of water on that. We've seen this under the manager for the last 5 years. Oh, you need some examples? Let's go back to Man City last year. Let's talk about Southampton, 10 men Fulham, West Ham, Aston Villa, Bayern Munich, Sporting Lisbon, Olympiacos, 10 men Manchester United. We can just go down the list. We can go down the list of games that we've seen from this manager that's exemplified tactical naivety. Oh, what was that in the off weeks when we were getting ready for PSG? What did he do? He played the starters. What was that? Tactical naivety. Tactical naivety. Tactical naivety. See, he can't attack him on his play. He can't go after him on his play on the field. Those experiences. So what they do is they go right into, what does he know about coaching? What does he know about coaching? What the hell does Arteta know about coaching? See, when I flip it and I ask you, what does Arteta know about coaching then? Well, he set up under Pep. He set up under Pep. So it took him 5 years to realize he needed a striker after he sold the best one he had. But then you ask him, you say, well, tell me what Arteta knows about coaching. Just like this brother in the chat right now. I see you in there. Like that brother in the chat. Let's bring him up. Let's bring him up. And everybody ask this brother right here, what does Arteta know about coaching? What did he know about coaching prior to him coming to Arsenal? Everybody in the chat at Poppy Havertz, ask him, what did Arteta know about coaching before he pulled up? And he's got 5 minutes to tell me what he told me, what he knows about coaching coming from Manchester City before he got to Arsenal. Give me the teams that he coached, how many honors that he had, and that everything he won. I want him he got 5 minutes. Static, he's got 5 minutes. Start your clock. I want it in the chat. And then if I don't have it in 5 minutes, he's out of here. Everybody at this brother and ask him, what did Arteta have on coaching before he came to Arsenal? That's what y'all got to start doing with these top gooners. Stop playing with them. Stop trying to get on Twitter, going back to back. You ask them one blunt question and wait for the answer. And just tell them, you got 5 minutes to tell me what we need to talk about. Zilch. Nada. Stop playing with these folks. Stop playing with these folks. Because, see, a lot of these folks take this as a game. A lot of people take this as a game. I don't take this as a game. I've been supporting this club for a long period of time, since 1995. A very, very long period of time. You know, I've sacrificed, JB said, I've sacrificed some Saturdays. You know, I've had to buy radio packages for the car. I've had to, back in the day when it was super expensive to get data plans on the phone, I'm getting data super expensive so I can listen to games on the road. Bro, I have supported this team for a very long time. And trust me, when Arteta left, he didn't have any coaching experience. When he went to City, before he went to City, he had no coaching experience. When he left City, he had no coaching experience. Now all of a sudden he comes to Arsenal, he's supposed to know everything. He's the one above all. He's the one above all. I'm still waiting for Poppy to drop it in the chat. He hadn't dropped it because he said I really didn't know anything. So, like I said, Static, just count him down, bro. And just let us know when he's been ejected. Because I don't think we're gonna get it. All right, we're moving on here. Arteta has transformed Arsenal from a mid-table laughingstock into genuine title contenders. Watch this. They love this. Here comes another one. You can tell this brother here's a top. This is another one right here, bro. This is another one right here. He says, all while operating under financial constraints early in his tenure. I got to get up and walk off on that one right quick. I'll be right back. Just let me walk off right quick. Let me just walk right quick and sit back down. This brother said, all while operating under financial constraints early in his tenure. The man has been given 750 million pounds, dollars, euros, pesos, whatever you want to call it. He has been given more than enough money. More than enough. More than enough. Mid-table laughingstock into genuine title contenders. That was 2 years ago. That was a whole 2 years ago. We challenged for a title. And the year before that, nobody saw us challenging for anything. The 8-point year bottle job. And then this year we fall backwards. Okay, if you say so. Henry conveniently forgets that he walked into a Monaco side with Champions League pedigree and still got them relegated. Well, hell, I mean, bro, let me tell y'all something, man. We've gotten very lucky that this year was one, when you really sound and think about it, and you really look at the landscape of the Premier League this year, we're very lucky that we had a patch there where we were scraping by a couple of games. Because those 14 draws, if about 7 of them would have been losses, we've been in some major trouble this year. We've been in some major trouble. And we got very lucky that coming down the stretch at the end of the season this year, that a couple of teams lost when it looked like we all thought they would probably win. This right here is what you call taking shots. Most new managers, not all, most new managers tend to struggle. Not all, most tend to struggle when they get their first gig. It was a gentleman me and Lee was looking at the other night. He I can't remember who it was, man, but he went somewhere, he struggled. Then he got another job. Then he got another job. And I think this year he ended up winning a trophy or something along that line. I can't remember exactly who it is. Lee would probably have to know who it is. I think it was somebody in the Dutch league or whatever. But he ended up winning a trophy. Or it might have been last year. I can't quite remember exactly who it was. But it was basically he started out, he failed. He got him another gig, got better, got a better move. Then he actually ended up doing fairly well for himself. I think the gentleman was Dutch. Meanwhile, Arteta, now I got this highlighted. Arteta inherited a fractured, unbalanced squad and has since built a team that has pushed Manchester City to the wire. See, they love. Why didn't we push Liverpool to the wire this year? Now, notice that didn't come up. None of that came up this year. Hold on. When was this wrote? That was wrote on what date? May 29, 2025. May 29, 2025. So you notice he conveniently left out. Oh, we didn't push Liverpool. We didn't push Liverpool. See, you have to watch. See, this is what you have to. When they bring up we push Man City, you ask them why we didn't push Liverpool. Why we push Liverpool? We reached the Champions League semifinals, achievements that Henry couldn't dream of as a manager. Trophy obsession ignores context. Henry's obsession with trophies is baffling. I mean, why is it baffling when he won so many as a player? Given the Arsenal's progress under Arteta has been undeniable. Shane Gunner, you in the chat, he said this is undeniable, brother. Undeniable. Yes, the FA Cup in 2020 remains its own silverware, but since then, watch this. I'll read it again. The FA Cup in 2020 remains its only silverware, but since then, Arsenal have finished second in the Premier League twice. Missing out to an all-time great City side. Are you telling me that the United teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, that wasn't all-time great? 2000, Chelsea finished right behind us. The year we went undefeated. Reached the Champions League semifinal. Knocking out Bayern Munich and Real Madrid along the way. Am I missing something here? Am I missing something here? See, this is when you know they reach it, because he's talking about last year, but he wants to try to lump it in with this year. You see, it's how you got to walk. You got to catch them. They like to try to throw stuff. Then he says, established a clear identity. Ladies and gentlemen, Poppy Havertz Poppy has left the building. He has left the building. Thank you, Brother Static. Much love, my brother. Greatest mod in YouTube land. Established a clear identity, something Arsenal lacked for nearly a decade post-Wenger. You see how he tried? See, just the wordplay here. It's the wordplay. He goes, lacked for nearly a decade. So it makes it sound like it's been longer than, we were in the valley for all these years. Lacked for post-Wenger. We were just, when the man arrived, we had just came off the back of a European, we lost to Chelsea 4-1. Then he goes into, let's talk about Henry's record. Monaco, 20 games, 4 wins, 5 draws, 11 losses. Sacked after 3 months. Sounds like standards to me. Montreal Impact, 0 trophies, 0 playoffs win. Resigned after poor results. Now, this is what I was telling y'all earlier. This is what I was telling y'all earlier. See, this is where you have to take what you've learned, and then you have to take it and apply it, and then apply it to the right. He likes to go in the context. This is where the context comes in at. French Olympics. Failed to win gold with the French football team as the coach in the Stade de France. He want to try to say, he lost at home. But the catch of the matter is, where was he, y'all? What was TT doing in the Olympics? What did he reach? For him to get silver, what did he reach? What did he reach, ladies and gentlemen? He got to the final. Something that Arteta has not done. Who did he lose to in the final, chat? Who did he lose to in the final? I'm going to let y'all tell me. What team did he lose to in the Olympic final? Oh. Who won the European final this year? I'm not my memory can't serve me as well as it used to. Was Lamine Yamal in that final, ladies and gentlemen? Do we know if Lamine Yamal was in that final? Because I can't remember back that far now. Was Lamine Yamal in that Olympic team? Was Lamine Yamal in that Olympic team? I know it was some ballers in that Olympic team. I know that. Oh, he was. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, for me, Lopez. Okay. That's some ballers was in there. Ballers. Now, how is it that if he's such a bad man, if TT was such a bad manager, didn't know anything about football, how did his own country call him up? Arteta hadn't got reached out to go to deal with Spain in any form, shape, form of matter. Let's move on. The striker debate. Watch this now. The striker debate. Revisionism at its finest. Henry's complaint about Arsenal not signing a proper number 9 is equally disingenuous. He asks if it's almost read like Gal was writing this. He asks as if Arteta ignored obvious solutions, yet he fails to acknowledge financial fair play restrictions. They love financial fair play restrictions, man. They love it. Limiting Arsenal's spending power after he spent $750 million. You hear me? $750 million. Watch this. Kai Havertz, 14 goals this season. And Gabriel Jesus went fit. We want to make sure you put that on. Went fit. How many goals did Jesus have before he went down? Chat, somebody in the chat put it in there for me. How many goals did Jesus have before he went down this year? Before he went down in the FA Cup. Yeah, look. Hey, look. I'm telling you, bro, it read just like him, 5 goals. And that was in January, by the way. So if we want to go by that number and just play just for keepsake, we probably say he probably averaged another 3 to 5 goals this season. He's never gotten over 16 his whole career. Novsky, I think you said 15 the other day. I saw you in the chat, brother. Forgot to shout you out. I think he said 15. I think it was 15 in the Premier League. So, you know, Havertz is 65 million, 14 goals. Would Henry prefer a panic buy like Lukaku over patience for the right? There it is. Top Gunner word. Top Gunner. Let me see. I think I might have one of my sound effects in here. There we go. Profile. Profile. Profile, ladies and gentlemen. Profile. 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 All right. Right profile. You know, you always got to have a profile. It's like we're talking about people that's in jail. Did he fit the profile? Arsenal scored 91 goals. Yeah, clearly this is, you can tell how ass backwards this was written. And see, this is why if you don't know what you're talking about or you don't understand these folks, they'll sucker you. Because somebody who's reading this that don't know what happened this season, I think this happened. 91 league goals. Where was this at? Where were these 91 goals at this season? See, this is why I said you gotta watch these folks, man. You see this? This brother he's just venting. He's upset because TT called out his manager. And now he's telling lies. 91 goals this season. And I showed y'all the date. This was wrote when? This year. This year. By who? The staff writer. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Only City and Liverpool netted more. The issue wasn't the striker. It was the squad depth in key moments. Well, wait a minute, brother. You just said, where's it at? The other brother said earlier, elite. We could get elite. Is that not what he said? Elite. But now it's all down to what? Squad depth. After what? We spent $700 million. Brother, they are making the stuff up as they go. They are building the airplane in the air. That's how these top goons are working. They are building the airplane in the air. That's what they're doing. They're building an airplane in the air. They're just making it up as they go. Anything hoping they can stick. Anything hoping they can stick. Injury critique. Look in the mirror. Henry's dig at Arsenal hamstrings is rich coming from a man who oversaw Montreal side riddled with fitness issues. Arsenal's injury problems are no worse than Liverpool's or Newcastle's. Did y'all catch that? Did you all catch that right there? Ladies and gentlemen, please tell me. This is why I tell you, whenever you read something from these top gooners, whenever you listen to something, listen to it or read it with a third ear and a third eye. Read it. 30,000 feet. I always use that analogy. 30,000 feet, and then you look down. He just said right there. What did he just say? He just said Arsenal's injury problems are no worse than Liverpool's or Newcastle. It's a league-wide issue due to fixture congestion. But what did they tell y'all was the problem why we didn't win the title this year? What did they tell y'all? What did they tell y'all? See Static laughing because you know. What did they tell y'all, Static? What did they tell y'all? What did Arteta say? Any manager that what? Any manager that had to deal with what I've dealt with this year, they be in what? Mid-table. Nobody, guys. Nobody could do what they did, guys. Nobody could do what they did, guys. Nobody. But then when you just let them slip out, they'll tell you the truth. See, when a person mad, they'll tell you the truth. They say this dude here, you could tell he was up late at night. He probably had on some heavy metal or whatever he was listening to there. Probably had on some Ghetto Boys. He had on some hard rap. He was mad. I'm gonna tell this motherfucker. You know, he was mad. This brother said Arsenal's injuries were no worse than Liverpool or Newcastle. See, remember? I told y'all. Watch these jokers, man. Says, in conclusion, a legendary player, a failed manager. Thierry Henry's criticism of Arteta smacks of jealousy. Here's a man who couldn't cut it as a coach, watching a younger and more tactical, astute successor succeed where he failed. Arteta, once again, y'all remember the last dude we read? Arteta has rebuilt Arsenal into a force. A force. No, Manchester City is a force. Liverpool is a force. Barcelona is steadily becoming a force, which nobody seems to even think about. They forget about Barcelona's going to be around. Everybody talking, we win the Champions League. Everybody forget Barcelona just getting started. For anybody that's been around the block for a while, we remember, especially us that's in our 40s and late 30s, mid 30s, and even early 30s. We all remember when Messi came onto the scene. Y'all remember when Messi came on, and then in a couple years it kick-started, and then it was like, oh, well, you couldn't slot that juggernaut. Same thing starting to happen again with Barcelona. We've seen this before. So they'll be around for a while. Ain't nobody, and we ain't winning no Champions League no time soon. Instead of nitpicking, Henry should stick to punditry because his managerial career proves he is in no position to lecture anyone about success. Well, based on Arteta's managerial career, he's not in a position to lecture anyone about success because he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any. And that's when you deal with these toggles. Don't be trying to scream and yell. When they talk about Henry's managerial experience, you talk about Arteta's managerial experience prior to coming to Arsenal. Because there is none. I've tried looking for it. It was the same place where I started looking for Edus. And we all saw how that went. We all saw how that went. We're going to shift gears. We're going to shift gears because I know people want to talk about it. And we're going to go about this twofold. We're going to go about this twofold, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start here. We're going to start here. Right here. There are no current rumblings of frustration from the Arsenal board regarding Mikel Arteta. He is extremely well-liked and respected. And the talk that he has to win a trophy next season is somewhat overblown. Keyword right there. You got to watch that. Right there. See, this is why I tell you I have to read this stuff. A lot didn't read, man. Somewhat overblown. Now, what the hell is somewhat overblown supposed to mean? This right here from the brother Gunner Blow. This brother here, this is what you call, in America, we call it brown nosing. This is what you call kissing ass. Oh, well, there's nothing going on with the boy. Everybody's happy with him. He wants to make sure he keeps his access. There's no secret. I used to be a journalist. I used to do this stuff for a living. I didn't kiss ass. But this brother here wants to make sure he has access. I can give a damn about access, to be honest with you. He goes on to say somewhat overblown. So that means there's some truth in this. I just can't reveal how much truth is in this. See, this is what I told y'all earlier, and we're gonna go use this to transition right into Bera, because everybody wants to know my thoughts on this whole Bera situation. All my American G's in the chat, type in USA. All my American brothers in the chat, type in USA. Just type in USA so I know you in here with me. Type in USA. All my American G's in the chat. Because I'm going to show y'all something. We're going to show y'all something. We are going to show y'all something in just a second here. This is what I need. I need my brothers with me. If you're in this chat, USA, type it in. I need you. I'm calling on you right now. I'm calling on you right now. It's for a specific reason. It's for a specific reason. I see some of y'all in there. I see some of y'all in there. I see it's coming. All right. Now, everybody that's American that's in the chat, that's been here. Much love to the motherland. I see y'all in there. Much love to the motherland. I see y'all in there for Africa, brother. I see y'all. Much love. What's the first thing? This is for my American G's now. What's the first thing that ownership normally does when they get ready to put somebody out the door? Who's the first person that they hire? What's the first position? What's the one position? You can use American term. Starts with a G. What's the first thing that they do? Who's the first person they deal with? Yeah, chat y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are hilarious, man. The GM. There we go. Right there, Mike. Appreciate that, brother Zoho. Right there, brother. Right there, brother. The general manager. In European footballing term, what is that term? What's that term? Yeah, that's true too, Black Slug. That's true. But in this case, we're gonna just leave it at this right here for right now. General manager. We'll just say that we'll go with general manager. We'll leave it. That is true what you just said, though. What do they call this position in world football? What do they call this position? Mike, my boy. Director of football, aka sporting director. Whichever one you want to call it. So when you look at this whole situation with Arteta, let me take this off the screen right quick. Zoom, come in here a little bit. They paid the man $15 million last season. How many times have you seen where a financial mistake has been made and you realize, ooh, I think we made a mistake here. I think we made a mistake here. You know, we just find we got to deal with. You see how rabid you see the Horde. You see the Horde, how rabid they are. I think if we can maybe get him the next year and we bring in somebody else, I think we can possibly maybe look at getting rid of him if he doesn't do anything next year. It'd be a little bit easier. We only have to pay half of what we were going to pay him originally because we only extended him out for a few years. What you think about that? Yeah, you know what, man? You know, Edu's really fucked up things as of late. I think we go ahead and we just pull the trigger on Edu. Let's bring in this other guy. Bera comes in. This is what I tell y'all. This is what I was telling y'all earlier. All this is gonna tie in together. Do not get upset Do not get upset when Sesko come through the door. This was done way before. All signs point to it. This was done well before Bera even showed up. This is why you keep hearing. Y'all remember right when the season, towards the end of the season, there was a story that ran about Berta wanted Jokeris, Arteta wanted Sesko. Berta probably came in the door, and this I'm speaking of hypotheticals now. I'm just, just work with me. Just paint a narrative, paint a picture for you. Mike, you got it, man. That's actually exactly what's played out. That's it right there. That's how it's played out. Berta came in. He said, I've got Jokeris, because he was already looking at him for Atletico Madrid. This is fact. We know this. Hey, brother, we were about to pull the trigger on him. We was thinking about it, bringing him in. I'm familiar with the agent XYZ. Overlord Arteta says, nah, we want to stick with Sesko. We've promised that he's going to come. I don't want to abandon him right now. He says, hey, brother, you sure that you don't want Jokeris? Are you positive? Yeah, I'm going to stick with Sesko. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. We'll we're looking at that then. Somebody just said in the chat, somebody said in the chat, this is true to a degree too. But remember, the Rams won a Super Bowl. They invested in the team last summer. What did they do with Malone this year? Was it Malone this year that they just got dumped out of the door after winning the Super Bowl? Not Super Bowl, but an NBA title. Money. This is why I keep telling everybody, over here in the States, money is starting to get tight. Trust me, I know. I've got bills sitting right here. Money's starting to get tight. Their money's gonna start getting tight. Yeah, they dump Malone out. They will sack your ass when they tired of it now. Don't fool yourself into thinking that they won't get rid of it. These folk will root when their money start getting touched. They will roll you exactly, and they let go of a major player. Thank you, Mythology. I forgot all about that. The Rams did let go of a major player. I completely forgot about that. They look at the entire situation of how this man has spent their money. Bro, if I saw $750 million being spent out of my pocket and it's coming out like water on a hot summer day in deep South Georgia, then brother, I'm gonna look over and go, well, what the hell is going on here? Berta has let the man say, hey, if Sesko walked through that door, this is gonna work one or two ways. If Sesko walked through that door, and thank you, Adam, I forgot about that too. They got a lawsuit to deal with. Forgot about that. That's the other thing they got to deal with. Their money's getting ready to get tight. Because they're going to probably end up paying for that St. Louis the way they did St. Louis when they moved the Rams some years back. They're going to have to end up cutting a check for that. But this is going to work out one or two ways. Either Jokeris is going to come in and the fire is going to immediately be turned up on Arteta, which is how I prefer it to go personally. Put it on the record right now. I'll prefer Jokeris come in and the fire is immediately turned up. Or Sesko's going to come in. It doesn't work out for him, and the fire's still going to get turned up on him. People keep operating thinking that people are going to keep putting up with this. They will smoke his ass. And how do you know that, man? What makes you think that? My American G's in the chat tell you. one of the first things they do, they bring in that GM, sporting director in this case, and they start removing the pieces that were around you that you're comfortable with. Am I lying, chat? They will remove the people that you are comfortable with. And they will start isolating you. Where's Ato? Tell you what. Y'all know I'm a man of facts. I'm a man of facts. What does this say right here, chat? What does this say right here? Let's zoom in. What does that say right there? What does that say right there? This is why I keep telling everybody. If they want to basically keep everything the same, just chill out, have a good time, they would have went with Ato. That's the easiest route to go. I've heard the narrative, oh, Alberto's in to just make sure that there's more money on transfers. To a degree, that's true, because we were losing money on people leaving for free. So yeah, you can say that, but at the same time, there's somebody overlooking Arteta's shoulder now. There's somebody else looking over Arteta's shoulder. This was was quickly done as well, which lets me know they're starting to systematically go down the chain of command. Edu, A2. And I keep asking y'all this. Why have you not seen Arteta bring up Berta by name since he's been here? Y'all saw it last Sunday. He was on one end of the row. Arteta was way on the other end. There's no relationship there. Thank you, Martology. There's no relationship there with those two. This goes back to the whole Sesko deal. Sesko was done before he got here. So by right, because it was business that was already done, he's probably going to more than likely go ahead and go along with it out of courtesy. And I know the diehard Arsenal fans that we are, we want him to come in and say, fuck your decision, you out of here. Doesn't quite work like that, because they've locked him into a contract. I think had this happened last year, you might have got a different. If this all would have played out last year, you probably would have got what you wanted. But because they re-upped him on a deal, they're contractually obligated to cut a check for him more than what they probably want to cut for him. So instead of doing that to save money, they're probably going to say, let's just wait one more year. Which I keep trying to tell folks. Views, you in the chat, I told you this morning. Same thing I'm saying now, Views, I told you. I said, you're going to have to put the year in the hole anyway, because all of us in here know for a fact we probably won't win anything anyway. If we do, great. But more than likely, we're probably not winning anything next year. So what does that tell you? What does that open everything up to? Because now the pressure's on. Regardless of the fact what striker comes in the door, we all know it's probably going to be Sesko, but just on the 10% chance it's not, whatever person comes in the door, what happens immediately? Expectations of what? Winning something. Winning something. And let's just not forget this, because people go to the Berta side of things. But nobody wants to tackle the player side of things. There are players in this team that are looking at this, that are looking at this situation, that are looking at where they've been at the last 2 or 3 years here. And they're thinking to themselves, if this doesn't work next year, how much longer am I going to stay here? So it's just not the Berta side of things. It's the player side of things as well that nobody has to look at, that they have not looked at. Top Gooners don't want to address it, because then that means that the reality of the project failed. And what they're prepared to do right now DJB called this a couple of months ago. They're going to try to turn their eyes towards Berta and say it was his fault. This is why I keep hammering home, and I heard Lee bring it up earlier today, that this deal was done before Berta showed up. It was probably a verbal agreement. Somebody else put it in the chat earlier. A verbal agreement, a gentleman's agreement, as we say. Hands were shaking, paperwork was drawn up, terms were agreed. And now, whatever happens, happens. So, when he comes in, this is what I tell y'all, don't get upset. You just sit back, get your popcorn, and you just say, hey, let's see what will be going into next season. Do I think Sesko is the end all be all? Nah. I hope it works out, man. You know, I hope he comes in. You know, some people can do it, come in, tear it by storm. You know, cool. If he does, cool, great. If he doesn't, guess what, man? That's another feather in the cap for this manager. Another feather in the cap to this manager. Hey, Adam, you're 100% correct. They told him no in the summer. They said nope. That was another telling thing, is that they didn't bail him out. They didn't bail him out. People are upset about it. That's one of the things you keep hearing Talguna say. Well, they didn't back into him. They didn't back him in January. They didn't back him, you know. They didn't give him anything. So I always bring up the point. He never asked for a free transfer. He never brought in a free transfer. He never brought in a free player. He never even looked into the market to see what was out there. Even if it was for a short term, even if it was for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Which means he never had any intentions of doing it. If it was such a dire strait, don't you think he would have went and pulled up money for not Havertz, but Jokeris? It was a $65 million buyout, which is probably going to be the same thing we're going to end up paying for Sesko. We're not going to be paying this crazy money that they're reporting. I know better than that. It's going to be probably in the 60s. It's going to be somewhat comparable. Which makes it even worse, because you can go out and buy exactly what you need. But like I showed y'all earlier, we have a history of missing out on good players. Even back to the Wenger days. So missing out on Jokeris wouldn't surprise me one bit, because it's one of the most Arsenal things to do. But a lot of that's down to when you look at how the board operates and you look at how this manager operates, it's scary it could be a collision. One, you effing up my money. Two, you're making us look like fools in the process. And this year, everybody else winning trophies just piled on. He didn't see that coming. The manager didn't see that coming at all. The manager didn't see that coming. There's nobody that thought Spurs was going to win a trophy this year. So by the nature of being an Arsenal supporter, you knew that was going to bring on a pile of trouble. And over the next coming days, you're going to see people. You're going to see people come on Twitter. They're going to get on the talk shows. They're going to call in the talk sports. They're going to come in. And they're going to be, oh man, these Jokeris, not Jokeris, but I keep playing before it slips. Tell you how much I want it. Sesko is going to come in and he can do this, he can do that, you can do this, you can do that. And if you don't believe me, this was when we signed Kai Havertz right here. Let me see, where is it at? I keep receipts around here. I keep my receipts. Let me see. Where did I put it at? I know it's in here.
So there's a lot of options, and that's what I really like about Kai Havertz, is that he would tick a lot of those boxes. Some would say jack of all trades, master of none. You could maybe level that at somebody like Kai Havertz. But when we go back to what you just said about maybe not taking the big moments, not finishing chances, I think a lot of that is down to confidence. I don't think there's any question about Kai Havertz's level of talent. So I think in the right environment, under the right coach, I'd be quite confident that you'd see a better version of Kai Havertz.
That was 2 years ago. It's the videos on this channel, by the way. And you're going to get the same thing for Sesko. Sesko's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to do this. Remains to be seen. He scored 14 goals last year, 13 this year. I think it was 13 the year before last, if I'm not mistaken. In certain positions, you can go, okay, well, all right, cool. That if he doesn't score a whole lot of goals but contributes assist-wise or he's doing a lot, you can actually say, okay, cool. But at the striker position, you got to be sure shot. And we're at the stage now in this football club, in this whole entire quote-unquote project that they put together. You don't have time. This is why I said earlier, if you wanted to buy Sesko, you should have bought him 2 years ago before you bought Havertz. It would have made more sense to buy Sesko then than to buy Havertz. Because now you're in a situation you don't have that kind of time. But see, Arteta is so stupid he doesn't even see that. That's how I know he's a madman. Because only a madman would set yourself up for the fail. At least I would have went Jokeris just to say, you know what? Let's just have a shot at it. But his ego and his narcissism, because that goes under the radar as well, his narcissism for dealing with younger players. Sesko is 21 years old. What have we noticed about most of his signings? They're usually influential people that are easily influenced at an early age. Because you can sell them a lot of stuff. You can't sell people like Henry a load of shit. You can't sell Jokeris a load of shit. He just won a cup and won a title. You can't sell people that's been successful a crock of shit. When you look over there at Liverpool and they went to Florian Wirtz, Florian Wirtz can just go look at the cabinet. Look what we just did this year. Look what we did last year. Look what we did the year before that. He actually sees the fruits of everybody's labor. The tree that Arteta has is falling to the fucking ground. And there's some players in this team that's starting to realize that. I saw a lot of looks this year that I didn't see last year. There was some serious looks of disenchantment after the game this year, at the last home game. It's good news. We got good news yesterday. Magalhaes resigned his deal. I think he likes it there in London. I'm glad to have him back. But if you notice, it's only a 3-year deal. And that starts this coming season, by the way. So, you know what that means? You'll be dealing with it again sooner or later. A lot of these players are getting tired of this manager. They're not going to come out and say it out loud because that's not, some of those players are just not like that. But you can't tell me that if you train and work hard and put in as much work as you did and you keep coming up short, you're not going to start having second thoughts. And that's what people don't want to face. People don't want to face that reality. Everybody wants it to be rosy in the garden, and it's not going to be that way. So I'm telling you now, get ready for next season. Get your popcorn. This season is called the Crash Out. This episode of failure is going to be called the Crash Out. In this season, you're going to see some crashing out. Because we're going to have some major competition next year. Whether people want to face the reality or not, Man City is back. Liverpool taking the league by force. They're just strong-arming. They're just strong-arming the league now. United, regardless of how bad they stink, they're going to be trying to compete for domestic trophies next year. It's talk of Jokeris might go over there, which would be even crazy if that happened. If that happens, that'd be crazy. But it can happen. He's familiar with the gap over there. You got Newcastle, who we can only beat when nothing's on the line. So soon as there's a little bit of pressure, we have to beat Newcastle. We know what's going to happen there. Aston Villa, who's the one for the Europa League, people are laughing at that. They think that's funny, but I don't find it funny at all because that's usually where Emirates tends to do his best business. You got Forest in the Conference League, which if they get 2 or 3 extra players, they may actually be in for a shoe-in for that. Then that'll add another trophy in their cabinet. And this manager's at a point now where he can't even be bothered to deal with the Carabao Cup to save his ass anymore because he's blown that opportunity. He's got to win a league or a Champions League. And then you bring in Sesko on top of that. That's what I said. Sometimes you just have to let somebody hang, give them the rope and let them hang themselves. Next season is shaping up to be a top 5 race. Not top 4, top 5. And people don't want to face the reality that this season was another missed opportunity. Last season was a missed opportunity. The season before that, a missed opportunity. I've got some audio here, and if you don't believe it was a missed opportunity, here you go.
What is the standard of success now for Arsenal? Because they've done everything but win. They've done everything in terms of their progress but win. And what I think, and it's something that I brought up in the past, is what I think is really damning evidence is the fact that this year in particular, in the Premier League, almighty Manchester City took a free fall. Free fall. And so there was the opportunity for Arsenal to be next man up. They were supposed to be the team that would climb up and take that space that Manchester City left completely wide open. And out of nowhere, Liverpool, with a new manager in place, and there were questions as to how he would handle the transition from Jurgen Klopp to Arne Slot, he gets his team up there very early on in the season, and the Premier League was never close. It was always under control by Liverpool and Arsenal.
See, people forget that. They'll tell you, "Oh, we challenged." Nowhere near.
Arsenal never really challenged, and that I think is damning. That I think is problematic because the opportunity was there, you did not take it. So then you hang on to what else could you win? And then coming up short in these other competitions, then it all starts pointing back to Mikel Arteta, and it all starts pointing back to the window of opportunity is closing. And as it gets closer and closer and closer, the pressure ramps up higher, higher, and higher.
Remember what I said earlier about Sesko coming in? Whoever comes in that door, there's pressure on top of you now. So I keep trying to tell y'all, it's like, don't get upset. Don't bang the desk. Don't get mad because we're probably not going to win anything anyway. So now it's just left to see this manager finally fall. It's getting close. Y'all don't feel that breeze? There's an iceberg out in the water he's getting ready to hit.
And guess what? Manchester City will not be nearly as bad next season as they were this year. You imagine Liverpool maintain a level of performance. In fact, if you believe the rumors as to who they're signing, you're thinking, my goodness, Liverpool is here to stay for a long time. What is...
See? That's why I said we had a window. What we should have did the year after the year... bro, if God bless his soul, if George Steinbrenner was the owner of Arsenal, they would have fired Arteta's ass alone. He would have got his ass fired a long time ago. He wouldn't have made it out in the first year. But I just, people, this is getting ready to get funny. This is getting ready to get funny because, see, if we were serious, really serious, and this is where you have to go back to Arteta as a manager, because if he was truly concerned and serious about success and winning, he would have came out. And I know this is being a former manager myself, and I've been on the losing end of games that either we got knocked out of a tournament or we did not come up. We came up short, and I can tell you it really irked the hell out of me to the point where it drove me almost insane to want to go and win, which is ultimately what we did. The problem here is that this manager, the power, his thirst for power usurps his will to win. I'll say it again. His thirst for power usurps his will to win and be successful. He doesn't care. Winning and successful, being successful comes twice. I mean, comes in second place. Remember at his last press conference, he said, if you can't be the best of the rest. The only thing he's concerned about, Adam, you not own it again. You own it again. His ego is bigger than the club. This is what he craves. He craves the power, the attention. It's a narcissist. I told y'all it's a narcissist. I told y'all that a long time ago. He's a narcissist. He has to have the power. Because there's no way you're going to tell me as a former manager, coming out of the year, you ball the title 8 points clear, you don't go for broke the next year. And then you come back, you finished again, and then you say, well, you know what? We finished 2 points behind. And you come back and you buy Mikel Merino and Calafiore. And Raheem Sterling on loan. And in your heart of hearts, you know that's supposed to be enough to get you over the line. With just what Allie was just saying, when you're supposed to be the mighty Manchester City. So think about that, y'all. Just think about what we went into last season with. We were basically out on the icy waters of the Antarctic with a hole in the boat. It was doomed from failure from the start. It was doomed for failure from the start. This manager doesn't have any intentions of being successful. He has intentions of running this club with an iron fist. That's his intention. But what he didn't count on is he didn't expect Bertha to be here when he got here. He thought Edu and everybody else was still going to be here with him. And now he's on that island by himself, and he's too stupid to realize that he's actually in a room by himself. This is why I said this season for me is, I'm calling it the crash out. Get ready. Those press conferences that we saw towards the end of the year are going to be more and more. You're going to see more and more of those weird press conferences. You're going to see some weird ones. Remember this, and we're going to get ready to wrap it up here because I just hit 2 hours. Not going to keep you too long tonight. But I had to get those facts out there to you all. I want y'all to remember this. Berta's job is to simply do what's best for the football club. To make sure the lights are on at night, to make sure people still have a job, to make sure that the club has some success. I keep telling you all, go look at his record over there at Athletic. He had to deal with a much worse. I can only imagine having to deal with him and having to sit down with Simeone. Good as a manager is, you just know how emotional and passionate he is. But having to deal with that, you know. And now he's coming over there looking at Arteta. A novice, by the way. Just get prepared. It might look bleak. You may feel like, oh, this is just like last year. I reckon we're getting ready to watch a showdown. Get ready to happen. Kenny Ken is going on record. Kenny Ken has said time after time after time after time after time. He said, most times you're going to clash. Sporting directors, especially new sporting directors, are going to clash with the man at some point. This year, because the media is starting to pile on, the pressure is starting to mount. The pressure is starting to mount. We got one more day here, 2 more days here before this transfer window opens. And I expect there's going to be all chaos next week. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when you see Sesko pull up to the Emirates. Just remember, the crash out is beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed tonight. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Before we go, let me see here. I know TJ, I think TJ and them are still, I think it's Friday night. They should be live. Let's see if the guys are live here. Let me see who is live so we can redirect. Y'all bear with me here as we get this lined up. Let me get this redirect. We're going to try to redirect over there to those guys if I can. Everybody, what's your predictions for tomorrow? The PSG Inter Milan game. What's your predictions for tomorrow? I'm taking PSG tomorrow. I think PSG may pull off the upset tomorrow. I think that those guys just look so good together, man, and they look really well put together. Luis Enrique has worked wonders over there with them. That's supposed to be a so-called rebuild project, you know. Let me see here. Where is it at? Let's see. Redirects. I confuse myself every time I get ready to do these redirects. Let me go here. Let me back out of this. Let me go in here. Let me go in here. Y'all bear with me, everybody. Try to get this thing. I confuses me every single time, y'all. I do these oh, I think this is it right here. Let's see. Mission. I really wish they'd make it easier to do redirects. It's so tough the way it's so here. It is so here. Let me see. I think this is it here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, now I should be able to do it. All right, let me do that. And then we go here. All right, there we go. Redirects. I think this is it. Did they move it? YouTube moving like Arteta, man. YouTube is moving like Arteta. Let me see how I get this thing here. You know what? I'm going to drop this. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get this thing right. Shane, you in the chat. What do I need to go for this? What tab do I need to click on for these line text? You in the chat. What I need to go to for redirects, man? Under what tab is it, brother? I know promo. Yeah, y'all laugh at me, man. I know, man. These redirects, man. What these redirects, man? Why they do this redirect? Let me see if I can do it on my phone. See, I'm out here moving like he gal, man. Moving like he gal. Can't get right. Can't get right. Kai Havertz sins. Yeah, I know that's right. Brother, they taking over, man. They are taking over. They are taking over. Let's see. Let me go here. Let me do this right quick. Let me see. No, can't do it that way. I'm trying to take my time, Static, man. I know it's I feel like I'm right on top of it too, man. I can't find exactly where it's at. I know I've done it too many times. And because I hadn't streamed, I tell you how much I stream, man. I forgot how to do it because I used to do it all the time. And I'm going to start, I'm getting old and I'm going to start writing down notes. Oh, you remember I do line text. Can't nobody bail me out tonight, man. Oh, my Lord. All right, let's see. Lot redirects. Now I got everything set up the way people can come to me, but I need to go do it myself. All right, I'm gonna get this one more shot, and if I can't find it, yeah, exactly. I'm at it's yeah. I'm about to do that too. I'm about to drop this chat in just a second, and just tell everybody to go what channel we for the redirect to. But that's just the one me being a perfectionist. I just want to make sure I get it so I can redirect. Yes, a powerhouse stinker and hooked. I'm about to call Lee tonight and say, man, what the hell do I find that tab at for redirects? Because I've done it before. You know what? I think I know how to do it. I think I got it. Let me go back here. Let me back out of this and go to. Hold on, everybody. I think I know what we're doing here. Think I got it. I think we're getting close here. Think we're gonna do it here. If we're not, we're gonna roll out together. We're gonna just drop it over there. And I'm gonna drop the chat in and everybody can go over there. But I think I've just about got it. All right, let's see. Pull this in. Yep, there we go. Save. And bang. All right. And no. And no, they've changed a few things around here because it used to be you would do it right there. So yeah, they've changed a few things. All right, cool. No problem. This is what we're going to do, man. Yeah, there's 5 phases to this. Let me just double check right quick. Let's see if the guys are still on. Let's see if the guys are on right quick. And if they are, I'm going to drop this link in. If not, I think Brother Aaron's streaming live, and we'll all go over there to support Brother Aaron. But let's see if the American Idiots are still alive. They are live. We're going to drop this in right here. This is where we headed, everybody. Y'all head over there. Right there. In the chat. Yeah, prone. I know. Stinker and Hoot. 5 phases of failure. Y'all make sure y'all pull up. Support the guys. You got Carl over there. Oregon, TJ, Connor. Y'all pull up. Southern Gooner Raid. We're getting ready to be up out of here, y'all. We'll be on tomorrow with Lee during the PSG game. Make sure you check that out. If you hadn't subscribed, make sure you like and subscribe. Lee reacts tomorrow. This Lee reacts tomorrow. Make sure you come through. Pull up. Say hey. And ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Peace.
Real fans, bro. Real fans are critical. Why?
Yes, exactly.
Because real fans, we expect the best.
Yes.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Southern Gooner here on YouTube